We all have our favorite cartoon characters, but have you ever wondered what their face actually looks like? Today, we'll explore some pretty scary-looking characters from the front, including the Simpsons. Stay tuned to see just how scary Peppa Pig actually looks. Don't forget to subscribe to The Things and give this video a big thumbs up. Now, let's check out how some of our favorite cartoon characters would look with a full face. Phineas and Ferb. Let's start with the characters with the weirdest heads ever. It's just strange, even thinking about seeing their full frontal face, but yet, here they are. Both Phineas and Ferb really have some of the most unique heads ever. They totally make sense from the side and give the characters a lot of personality, but they're completely unrecognizable from the front. Just look at Ferb. His nose is basically a square, and Ferb's triangular head completely disappears. In fact, he looks like a brand new character, and you could never tell that he actually has a triangular head. Marge Simpson. We also have to talk about the front-faced horrors of the Simpsons characters. There's definitely a reason why most cartoon characters are shown from their sides, because all of those features suddenly aren't that cute from the front. We'll show you a few characters from the show, but let's start with Marge. She always looks absolutely flawless, but maybe that's because you never see her front face look. Here's her full face, completely removing her chin. Doesn't it look like the weirdest thing ever? Trust us, it'll only get better. Get ready because some of these characters are downright creepy from the front. Homer Simpson. Let's be honest, Homer is one of the most iconic characters ever, and this show wouldn't be the same without him. We're all familiar with his face, and he's one of the first cartoon characters you learn to draw if you ever take a drawing class. But seeing him from the front just makes this show so much more scarier. Check him out. We're sure you saw his front face before, but seriously, this never gets old. Speaking of, here's also a picture of what Homer's body looks like from his own perspective. Let's just move on, shall we? Moe. Although we do see some Simpsons characters from the front, Moe is one of those that's almost always shown from the side. The grumpy bartender pretty much represents all of us at our regular day jobs, doesn't he? But have you actually seen what he'd look like from the front? He's pretty creepy. Well, his face doesn't really look that good from the side anyways, but look at this. His nose, his mouth, his chin, it's just all too bizarre. We told you, these are some pretty nightmarish front-face cartoon characters, and there's a lot more to come. Mr. Burns. Okay, here's the final Simpsons character before we show you a couple of other front-face wonders. Seriously, you won't believe some of them. But first, what's up with this strange picture of Mr. Burns? Don't worry, that's not actually what he's supposed to look like. But this is. What's up with his teeth? And when you see him from the front, it looks like his long pointy nose is almost touching his lips. It definitely paints a different image of the money-hungry Mr. Burns, and that image doesn't exactly bring any benefits to the Burns we know. Dexter. Remember Dexter? No, not the TV series character. Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. We usually see Dexter from the side, so we can also see one of his, without a doubt, weirdest features. You have to admit his pointy nose is pretty out there, and it doesn't do him any favors that his upper lip is just as pointy. Just look at his front face picture. He looks like he has absolutely no mouth on him, but a very strange nose that looks like a beak. His nose is not fully front-faced, but it gives us a pretty good idea of what that would look like. But seriously though, where's his mouth? Heifer Wolf. Remember Heifer Wolf from Rocko's Modern Life? He's one of the most colorful characters ever. But let's be honest here, his full face doesn't do him any favors. Check this out. Depending on the face he makes, he can get seriously creepy. But it's not just his face. Heifer is just one of those strange characters that will look weird no matter what. Thankfully, Heifer is totally embracing his weird side, and we absolutely love him for it too. Although we seriously can't get over his scary face, he suddenly doesn't look like the character that would love life as much as Heifer does. No, thank you. Next, Hiram Wolf. Speaking of characters from Rocko's Modern Life, Hiram is also a pretty weird one. He's not featured much, although he definitely caught our eyes. Sure, he looks like a semi-normal look from the side, but check out this picture from the front. Isn't that just the weirdest thing you've ever seen? He looks like he could be an airplane pilot, and definitely not just a regular cartoon grandpa. We do feel like his full face makes him look even older than his side view. But to be completely honest, this is pretty scary if you ever wondered what a wolf with wrinkles would look like. This is it. Pearl. Here's a slightly more recent character with an avid fan base behind her. Who doesn't love Pearl? The shy and gentle character is like a mother to everyone. One of her main features are her gorgeous eyes and her pointy nose. You almost forget that she's not exactly human, but her full-face photo makes her look pretty scary, and it definitely reminds you of her non-human side. Check her out. We don't even know what's scarier, her eyes or her nose. Suddenly all of her best features are looking pretty weird. Poor Pearl. Thank goodness we don't see her full-faced view often. Peppa Pig. And the last but not least is Peppa Pig. We had several videos on Peppa where we discussed some things you probably never realized about the entire show. But have you ever noticed that these pigs are always turned to the side? Apart from the fact that they have a pretty funny looking face, they also have both eyes featured on one side of their face. Isn't that just the weirdest thing ever? So if this cartoon logic is consistent, it would mean that Peppa's full face would have 4 eyeballs. 2 on each side. To be honest, we're kind of glad that we only see the characters from the side. And that's all for our video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.